Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun.
There's our drill bit. It's a number 31, 103 thousandths. Or it might be a 32, I can't remember. But anyhow, it's the correct size that he wants. We've got our flat in the drill hole. So now we're going to come down and just touch the flat. And I'm going to use my quill DRO, which is more like an electric or electronic caliper. And we start at 0, and we're going to go down 1 inch 760 thousandths. And we're going to do it slow, and it's going to take about a half an hour. We're going to speed it up for you, so it won't be a half an hour. It'll probably be more like a minute. All right, here we go. Okay, 760 thousandths all the way to the bottom. Well, not to the bottom, but about, within about a quarter inch of the bottom. And we've done 3 now. We've got 3 more to do, and we'll come back when we get ready to counterbore that, coming in from the side. Of course, we're going to spin this sideways, and coming down and matching or meeting the end of that hole. So we'll be back. Okay, let's drill the counter hole. We need to come down onto that. I scribed a line all the way across to here. We need to come down onto that line. Where is that line? Right about there. And, you know, this is not a super accurate hole. Basically, if we can land anywhere within, you know, calling distance of the other hole, we're happy. All right. Come down on that hole. We're on it. And come down about 300 thousandths. And we land hopefully right at the base of that hole. And we're all set. Now I take it out and blow air through it and look through it, make sure that it's that everybody's lined up and there's no obstructions, and then we're on to the next step. Well, I don't know, about a year ago or so, I came upon this counter bore set that was pretty cool. I mean, you know, it's old school. Nobody uses them anymore because of CNC and everything. But, you know, I'm not CNC, and so I scored this counter bore set, and I'll show you a picture of it. And, you know, it's got a wooden box, and it, you know, it was just a full set. It was missing one part. So I got it, and I haven't used it. It's probably been a year, but this is my first chance. And this actual counterbore doesn't fit the hole. It's probably about 20 thousandths short of fitting the hole, but it's close. And the counterbore itself is just a little bit too small. But we're going to see what it looks like, and I'm going to give it a try and see if it, you know, because basically we've got some pretty rough edges here. And if you look at these other ones, you can see that, you know, it's busting through right here, and there's rough edges everywhere. And we need to kind of get rid of that to make it look nice. So let's give it a try and see if we can just come at it. By the way, this is the one I fucked up here at the beginning of this whole process. So we'll use that as our guinea pig. And I didn't square it up or anything like that. I just tossed it in there to see how it would react. Let's see if we can get in here and have a close look at it. I don't know, it's not too bad. I mean, you know, there's some edges here that need to be worked with, but I think a little bit of file work could cover that. I think I'm going to go with it. And once we get the hole set up with this end, I don't have to worry about it. All I need to do is get some kind of shaft that I can get a measurement for, you know, for this direction. And we're going to do that. So then that'll be pretty much the last step in this whole process. He wants to take it from here. He wants to take it from here. This is one of my finished ones, right? He wants to take it from here and finish up this end. Let me show you what this end looks like. Here it is right here. So basically we come in where the hole is. Oops, there you go. Where the hole is, we come in and he's gonna turn this down and then mill off all of the excess on top of this guy here and end up with that hole going down here and then going all the way out through there. So that'll be his part of the project. Mine is getting close to done. I'll be back probably tomorrow. I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you'll notice at the top edges of the Acme thread, there's a bunch of little burrs. And that, you know, that comes from cutting the thread. But we need to kind of smooth that out a little bit, make it look good. So we're going to come in with the reamer and ream that baby. And as usual, when I come in with a reamer, I come in, especially these adjustable reamers, because they're problematic at best, but they work in certain situations. In this situation, the hole is 800 thousandths, so you know you can't buy a reamer that's the right size. So I come in and go backwards until it gets down to where it's hitting on all cylinders, you might say, and then just bring it down. I mean, it's not going to take much. And then once it gets down to a certain point where it starts getting wiggly, I flip it over. All right, well, looking at these threads, we can see that there's a little sharp edge in each one of them. So I have to kind of come in and peel that edge up and grab it with my pliers and kind of get it up as far as I can so that it's not just a razor sharp edge. Then we'll come in later and deburr that. Well, not too much later. That's the next step. Come on, baby. There it is. Get it past that. That side's good. This side's good. We got 6 of them. Now I think we're going to just take it in the jewelry room and use my Fordham and grind away at those guys until they submit. Well, okay, we got her done. We got 6 pieces. Now he doesn't want me to do the backside because he thinks it's going to be easier to do the backside, and you know, it's within his skill level. So you know, I get that. You know, he doesn't want to pay $100 an hour to get it done. I get that. So we're done to this point, and now we pass it on to him and get paid, and everything's going to be good. And this is Nick Collier checking out. Okay, well, surprise, surprise, we're back. I got this project all buttoned up. I had it in a box. I almost had the box sealed and ready to put the label on. And I talked to the guy, and he says, well, you know what? You may as well go ahead and finish it. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So opened the box back up, took everything back out one at a time, and started in on doing the other side, which is this side here, which looks like this. This is the old piece. And it turns out that this goes into a CNC, either a lathe or a mill, I can't remember, but this is like the main screw gear, or screw, that runs the head up and down. And he said that it got loose and it stopped being accurate, and he wanted to make it accurate again. So we're going to go ahead and work on the other side here, and hey, stick around. We're going to have a good time. Okay, so it's June 2nd or 3rd out here in California, and it's hotter than a pistol. So this is when it makes real sense to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is what time it is right now. So we're going to come in and clean off these surfaces with my hand, just to make sure that there are absolutely no intrusions here. We have a spacer that we're going to put in there. Clean that baby off. And that goes right there. We have our, I made this tool up for the attachment in, or actually a gripper, which is basically what we've got here. So we've got lots of room. We just bring the vise in until this thing stops wiggling. And that's about it right there. We bring this in. Oh my God. Oh, there. I thought I'd forgotten to drill the hole. There's the hole there. So we bring this in. At first we clean off the bottom, make sure it's nice and clean. Bring this in, drop it into the hole. How come it isn't going in? There it is. Maybe we're just a little bit too tight. All right, we got to figure this out. What's going on? Maybe there's a little burr or something. Not feeling anything. Well, it's fine. It's all the way down. there's just a little bit showing on the bottom. You can see it. And that way we make sure that we're landing right on the piece itself rather than the little fixture. Okay, so that's good. Where's our hole? There's our hole. Okay. Okay, so we're still spinning with the piece itself, and the little fixture is we're just gonna clamp down until this thing really doesn't want to turn anymore. There we go. Okay, we got a little bit of a snug fit. We're gonna come in with a parallel. I've got a pretty good size one here. I'm gonna bring it up against there. This is kind of where it takes a bit of finesse. Not that I have any. Okay, we're going to come in with a pair or a square, and we're going to bring it up against you see the flat on this side, though there's also a flat on the other side. That looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is take my thumbnail and just push against this, bring it back a little bit. Oh, that's not going to work. That's almost not going to work. And luckily I have two parallels. That'll work. Okay, so we bring it up against the flat here, and then I take my thumbnail and I pull the square back just a little bit, and take my thumbnail and bring it in and put a little pressure on it and bring the square in until it squares up with that little square surface, like right there, and then I push it forward. Oh man, did I get it right off the bat? I did. I can't believe that. Well, the problem is yeah, it's right, all right, but as soon as I clamp down on it, this thing's going to rotate just a little bit. But fingers crossed. Bring it in till it hits the square. Man, I hit that sucker just right. I've done 3 so far. This is number 4. And each one of them, this was a fight and a half. Boy. Well, you know, something's got to go right. Right? While we're setting up for this next part, do a little dicum. Okay, what we're going to do is just take it down and bring it right down on top of the piece of bronze, and we're going to score a line. And I should have put everything to 0, of course, but I didn't. We will do that now. Okay, the DRO goes 0, X, and Y. And we've taken some measurements. You can see I've I don't know, can you see it? Yeah, kind of. Took a bunch of measurements, figured out what we got to do, and from center to the edge of the piece itself is 786 thousandths. So we're going to go over 786. 786, and we're going to go back and forth. And we'll know that is at our outside edge. Bring this back to 0, 0. And then you'll see, can you see? Almost. There we go. The width of our piece is 318, so divide that by 2. 318 divided by 2 is 159 thousandths. So we're going to go 159, and then we're going to go up and down, or the y direction, and then we go back to 0 and further on to another 159 thousandths, 59. Okay, and back and forth there. You know what, let's go a little further. All right, and then 390 thousandths from the outside edge. So that outside edge is 786. And I just take the DRO and zero it out, and then we come in 390. 1, 2, 3, 80, 90. And there is our little square. It all looks pretty good. Okay, so now what we have, if we're looking at it here, we've got 1 inch 654 thousandths from here to the base, or basically from here to here. 1 inch, what was that? 654 thousandths. We're going to take a second measurement just to make sure. $54, right. And this is measuring 56. Probably over on this side it's 54. Yep, look at that. 55. I can live with a thousandths one way or the other. So that means first thing we want to do, we're going to go off screen for probably a second or two, and we're going to tap this down so that it is absolutely solid. Well, let's go ahead and spin you around a little bit so that it's absolutely solid on our platform. And right now it's not. It's kind of slipping around. So there we go. That's all we needed. A little bit more. Now it's solid. All right. come back. Let's spin you back. And we're going to bring the bit down to the top of that spacer. And just touch it. And that would be good. And then we'll zero out our column DRO. And we're going to come back 1 inch 654 thousandths. 55. All right, I'm staying there. Tighten up the column. Bring it in. And we're sitting just about perfect. Okay, now we got to take all of that away. Okay, so you'll notice that I left a fair amount of shoulder on that piece. And look at what we've got here. We've got just a bit of a radius down at the bottom there. Can you see that? And you know, he wanted me to follow this exactly, so we're gonna cut a radius. And that means we got to take this bit out. And that should give us what we want. So, okay, our width wants to be 318. Let's see where we're at. 350. Ah. So we got 30 thousandths to take off. So let's take 15 on this side. And we've got 10 more to go. So we'll take 5 on each. Okay, well, we got one last maneuver to make here, at least a machine maneuver. Then after that, we've got a bunch of deburring and a few things like that. So we just bring it in here about most of the way in, just leaving ourselves a little room right there. Tighten everything up. We're going to bring in our indicator, our second indicator. And you're not going to be able to see that. Well, maybe you can. Let's just turn it around. There we go. And we're close, but no cigar. So let's bring this in pretty tight because we want to have that we're within about 2 right there. A little bit tighter. Okay, we got 1. I'll see if we can get it a little tighter than that. Oh, not going the wrong way, we're not gonna. Oops. Okay, let's tighten this up. Pretty close. Let's crank it up and see what we got. Now, I'd say that's pretty much right on the money. Bring that away. Now we've already done 3 or 4 of these. So we're going to, so we've pretty much, I got it preset. Let's go ahead and rotate this around so you can see it. And that's going to be just about 0 right there. Now we're going to bring it back. And bring it back in until we touch. There we are. And we're just going to take, 10 thousandths max at a time, because this thing is just barely sitting there. And I don't want to have it move around. Okay, we got some pretty rough edges there, and we're within 10 of where we want to go. So I'm going to come in and knock those edges off. There we go. Pretty good. So we'll bring it in within about 2. One last pass. Well, one pass before the last pass. Trying to get that to blend in. That looks pretty good. That's not bad. Okay. And what I want to do is just take this file and just blend this part in just a little bit. That looks good. And I can't remember if I drilled that or not. I didn't. We're just taking it up to the size of the old one. Take that out. On to the next one. Okay, well, one more project out the door again. We got this sucker done and ready to put it in little plastic bags and send it off to the customer as soon as he sends us a little cashola. We got some more projects coming down the pike. Hey, this is Nick Collier checking out.